Hey, uh, well, it's Wednesday, and I appreciate you taking some time to be with us today. I want to give two caveats: the one I gave on Monday, and then the one I gave on Tuesday, and just put them together so we're all caught up. So the first is the secret that's not really a secret, and that we pre-record these devotional videos. So it's for me sitting here, it's still Monday. So what new information has come out about the tragedy, the violence on Sunday and Saturday? I just don't know it yet. The way that the public has responded, and the way that people have been able to kind of publicly express grief, I don't know what those are. I'm sure we've talked about it in social media somehow, but from my perspective, right here, I just don't know what they are. Um, yeah, we what I said on Monday, it's worth saying again, is, man, I'm just a pastor. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a trained counselor. I'm not a therapist. I don't have a PhD in anything, let alone psychology. Uh, but I am a person who gets to walk people through grief sometimes. Um, Sometimes it's tragic. Sometimes it's uh, the end of a kind of an inevitable road. But but there are some principles in Scripture that I find really valuable, really important, and I just wanted to talk about some of those today. The one I wanted to talk about now is one that we looked at a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about lament, and it's that story where Jesus goes and interacts with Mary and Martha after Lazarus has passed away. Uh, it's that it's a story where um, Lazarus was sick and died, and Mary and Martha desperately try to get Jesus to act to heal him before he passes away, and that they are overcome with grief that their brother is no longer with them, and they just pour out their grief when Jesus does show up. And Jesus has a plan. He has a plan from beginning to end. He just Part of that plan is grief, and as he shows up, he knows that he's about to make things better. That Lazarus is about to be raised to life. That they're about to have this amazing dinner celebration that no one would have ever imagined. But in that moment, the moment where Mary and Martha are grieving, where he's feeling the loss of his friend, Jesus weeps. He grieves. We see another example with Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. He knows the trial that he's about to have before he goes before the cross. He knows how it's going to all resolve itself in resurrection a few days later. But he grieves, he weeps, he cries. Why do I bring these up? Because sometimes we equate grief and mourning with hopelessness and with despair, and they are two very different things. And you can hold both at the same time. You can mourn for loss and still know that there are good things ahead. You can hold on to both. But more than just that, right now, every time I grieve, every time I cry, every time I mourn, I know that Jesus understands me. I know that he gets it. I know that he's been there. I know that I'm not alone in it. And maybe right now, it is difficult for you to imagine a positive future. That in this moment, grief is just what surrounds you. It's what's holding on to you. That's okay. It's not a failing. It's not a weakness. It's not a lack of faith. Because Jesus was there with you. Jesus mourned and grieved, even though he knew there was something more to come later. I find such comfort in a passage in Hebrews that talks about us having a great high priest, a person who advocates for us and takes care of us, but one who understands us and who's walked in our footsteps. Comfort can be difficult to find sometimes. And sometimes it's found in knowing that you can commiserate, that there are people around you that know how you're feeling. People around you do know how you're feeling. It may not feel that way in the moment, or it may not seem like that way in the moment. But I do know that Jesus knows your grief. He's experienced it. And you can lay it out to him. And eventually, you will find comfort as well. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Appreciate you being with us here, and we will chat again tomorrow. So again, stay safe and God bless.